موارد فاينانس فالك طيب.
From our first panel, let me invite to the stage four panelists and one moderator talking about integrating Islamic finance into our digital economy. Let me start with Ahmed Abdeltawab, CEO and shareholder of OGOLD. Ahmed. Raji Challita, CEO and of BML Istisharat. Rashed Hareb Mheeiri, CEO and founder of Rentify. Namir Khan, Chairman of MENA Fintech Association. Murtaza is a partner in Cedar Consulting. Please, gentlemen, stand up. Murtaza, the stage is you. After we are done, I want you please to go to the award section in which we will be giving each one of you the award on behalf of Mawarid. Murtaza?
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Thank you. So I'll just quickly give an introduction for our panelists today. Ahmed, he's the CEO and co-founder of at OGOLD. OGOLD was founded 2 years back, and they have over 500,000 customers on the platform. Gold today is an area of great interest for all of us, considering where the prices are headed, and this should be especially, getting the attention of all the ladies in the group. Because what OGOLD does is it allows for fractional gold buying for the clients to acquire 24-karat gold and store it in the wallets. It also helps convert the metal into financing and liquid cash. So please welcome Ahmed. Thank you, Ahmed, for being here. Raji is a veteran in the industry. I don't know how many would know, but Raji has been with the BML group for the past 53 years. So anyone looking for a long service award in his organization, the benchmark is Raji, who's started working probably before most of us were born. But BML has been now across 35 countries, has more than 85 banks and FIs, has more than 50 insurance companies as clients, so has done well in Raji's tenure in BML for the past 53 years. Thank you, Raji, for being here. Rashed, I can assure you, was not born when Raji started working, but he's a serial entrepreneur. He's the partner at Ice Cream Labs, at Orderosa, which is a cloud kitchen which has multiple locations in UAE, and of course, Rentify, which is UAE's first and largest rental program. They make rent, paying and receiving a seamless experience, and they also are looking to transform rent from a burden to a more rewarding financial choice, and we'll hear more from Rashed. And lastly, Namir is basically the founder and chairman of the MENA Fintech Association, which was set up by him in 2018. It's a non-profit organization, ranks among the top 4 global fintech bodies, representing 22 markets, and has a community for over 26,000 professionals now. A very decorated professional. He's been awarded the Fintech Leader of the Year by the central banks in UAE and Oman. So congratulations. And he also is an honorary professor at Edinburgh Business School. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. So I'll start with Ahmed. Ahmed, gold, as you'd, is a natural point, a natural asset for asset-backed financing in Islamic finance. But how can digital gold be offered in a Sharia-compliant, user-friendly way? And where does it add real value in the embedded finance journey for the retail customer? I mean, how do you make it a value-added service for him besides just financing?
Okay, thank you, Phyllis, for this invitation, and thank you for Mr. for this panel. When we talk about gold metals, it's a main align with the Islamic finance. It's tangible, transparent, universal use. Everyone know gold over all the world. In OGOLD, when we start OGOLD, we believe the gold is already a currency more than the commodity. It's accessible everywhere. But in the first layer, how we can, it's a liquid or accessible. The first layer, it would be the fractional or the tokenization. Okay, and that's what we try to do it in OGOLD. We start the first phase, we make a fractional gold. The client start buying from 1 dirham. Then based on this, with the framework, we start to give the client the ability to use the gold. Gold as a payment, we already work right now. It will be after a couple of weeks, we will launch our card with Mawarid, which already backed directly by the gold. That means the client can have the gold, they can spend it directly gold. Also use the gold in investing. We already have the leasing. That means that in normal, most of the people believe the gold is passive income, but actually, when they use the gold in investing, that means they can generate more income. That means it will be active, and that's what we try to do with gold. And this already align with the Islamic finance and make there is income business active.
Moving to Raji, from your experience, Raji, how challenging is integrating these Islamic models in embedded finance? And how should the system, your API, your core layer be architected so that we can enforce an ethical Sharia contract with the least time to market, how do you move ahead? Because obviously being a core banking solution, you are a backbone of many, many banks across the region. So how do you work that through?
Okay, thank you for having me here first and for this nice presentation. Going to the source, actually. Let's go to the source before going to the solution. So going to Islamic Bank, it's about principle. So besides its interest prohibited, it requires asset-backed financing. It requires sharing profit, sharing risk. It's about transparency and about ethics. So combining all these together in the embedding requires further attention. Especially that the custom embedded financing, he does not come for some jargon, it may be difficult to understand. He is looking for the car, actually, for the murabaha. He trusts you as you will be doing the correct thing to buy the car, transfer it to him, and then so on. This could be some simple example like Baha or Ijara, because maybe straightforward. Others are more complex. Let's say if we go to Tawarruk, actually there are a number of steps to be done.
Yes.
Depositing commodity is also as well. Going to SME and corporate, Musharaka and Mudaraba require analysis of the project and so on. So it becomes more and more complex to handle within embedded financing.
Right.
So what's expected from us and from the fintech collaborating together actually is to have this contract being abstracted, contract abstraction, in order to make it easier whenever somebody presses on the button, I want to buy the car. So all the process actually need to be handled by this contract abstraction, which is definitely based on product or service definition with the parameter and so on. An additional step actually is that it's for the management of the asset and the register, because actually Islamic financing have to deal with the assets, the depreciation, and of course the accounting, plus all the follow-up that need to be done. So within the finance institution, there are two levels. The level for the core layer, handling with contract abstraction, handling with asset and management, and handling with all the compliance for Sharia.
Yes.
To have a compliant product, plus all the follow-up and notification.
Yes.
Now, the institution, the bank, or the non-bank institution would like some support. That's why there are a level of integration with number of fintech or number of supporting solution. Supporting for expose the product, because if I want to sell my product over e-commerce, I need my product to be available on their page. I need to coordinate with them. So there are API for product. There are API for compliance. Alone, the NBFI will not be able to follow up not only the Sharia compliance, but also all the RegTech and so on need to be compliant. And of course, it needs to integrate with FinTech for repayment and so on. So this becomes the API integration. So as a solution provider, you need to handle with both, with score layer and integration layer in order to provide a proper solution.
Okay, excellent, Raji. Moving to Rashed. Rashed, if you can just briefly first explain the Rentify journey and how does it benefit both the landlord and the tenant?
So I will start by saying that what we're doing at Rentify is starting with digitizing the relationship between the tenants and the landlords. And then with the partnership that we have now with Mawarid, we're allowing the tenants, we're reducing the pain of paying in 3 checks or paying 6 months in advance. And we're doing that with the partnership with Mawarid, where we allow them to pay on monthly basis while we facilitate the payment to the landlords.
The landlord.
Yeah.
And about the benefits and the loyalty that you all promise, I mean, how does that work?
So what we're doing is we are giving them loyalty points and reward points every time they go onto the platform. It's on the behavior that they have, the information that they put on the platform, the timing of doing these payments allows them to accumulate a lot of points, where at some point we'll be able to pay for the rent that's outstanding.
Okay, so you can use that to pay the rentals. And how does the Islamic structures translate into, higher trust adoption amongst your customers? And where do you feel is most helpful in the journey?
I think a lot of people suffer with getting misled by the fees that appears towards the end of the journey. So right. Being Sharia-compliant gives that clarity, gives the trust, transparency that you're not going to be overcharged because you delayed the payment or you had to postpone a payment. So that is helping our mission as well to build that trust and transparency with the end users.
Excellent. Namir, how does the MFTA assist the regional ecosystem strengthen and enable collaboration across the region with the FIs, create use cases, take that process forward?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. A very good morning to all of you. Many congratulations to Mawarid and AFS, because I think it's a very important partnership. Yes. To become an enabler for the fintechs. So kudos to you, and we need more enablers in the market to accelerate growth of the fintech sector. Now, to answer your question, how do we operate? We've been operating for the past 8 years now. Primarily, what we have built is very good and strong relationships with the central banks, which has been very critical today, because this is a region that is led by top-down versus bottom-up. So you need to ensure you work very closely with them. Second, the important thing is that when you're building or strengthening the ecosystem, you have to break it down. Break it down means that you have to divide it into multiple sectors. The important thing is today, if you look at it, fintech is not just a sector anymore. It has become a part of the economy. It's become a part of the broader open economy that we see today. A very important part of the revenue lines for every single state, be that from the perspective of licensing, be that from the perspective of bringing in more FDI into the country. Now, when you need this, you have to break down into separate sectors. As mentioned, you have the payments as a critical sector, you have digital assets and blockchain as an enabler, you're looking at wealth management, etc. The strengthening is done when you, number one, bring those players in front of the key stakeholders. A lot of times in multiple markets, because we have seen this cycle in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in UAE, and then of course broadly in different markets as well. It's a cycle. The cycle is always such that you have friction, and friction can only be removed when you have enablers sitting on the other side of the innovators, which means the large financial institutions at the banks. Now, it is not the onus of the financial institutions and the banks only to understand the revenue and the business models. It is extremely critical, and the onus falls upon the fintech sector, largely whatever sector you're representing, to understand your commercial models and to understand your revenue models as well. If that is not clear, you can expect delays, because a lot of times previously we have seen the market where there will be a lot of backlash on the FIs that they don't really enable you. Well, they will enable you if you put a good business case in front of them. Now, that can only change when, number one, these tech companies are refined, or the fintech companies, or whoever is operating, their business models are refined. How can that be done? That refinement is done by different platforms. This is, of course, what we do. We work very closely with all the tech companies. We work very closely with fintechs. And similarly, as our colleague Al-Balushi was just mentioning a while ago, Ignite, platform by DIFC, creating mentors, matchmaking them, etc. For us, it has been critical that we have different leaders who drive that conversation. So that is why we had built different, not just working groups for, let's say, Web3 and digital assets, for payments, for digital banking, etc., but we had leaders who had genuinely built something. That is important. Then they can actually walk the talk. So being able to connect that with the industry is critical. And lastly, you strengthen the ecosystem with academia. Education is still a very large gap in the market today. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. We had all the top universities sitting with us of the region and UAE itself, with the local ministry on talent as well. The gap is still there, massive. And the gap is further widening based on multiple things. We all talk about artificial intelligence as well. But if we do not basically ensure that the curriculum that is being taught to the students is aligned with what's happening today, this gap will further widen. So what we did for that, we have an academic network just built for the academia, which is led by the academia. We work very closely with the UAE Ministry of Foreign Direct Investment, with Ministry of Economy. What we do with them is to ensure that the curriculum that we are establishing for the universities is aligned with what's happening today and what's set to come tomorrow. So that basically helps you with your future workforce that is going to be put into the industry, and then of course strengthening the growth of the industry as well.
Strengthening the system, as they say. Also, I'd like to, coming back to the embedded finance question, so where are you seeing the strongest real demand for embedded finance, and what is making those use cases click or go in the market today?
One of the biggest problems that we have seen today in this in the Islamic finance, because I'm ex-Islamic finance as well, I've been in the Islamic finance space for a while, probably like 10 years ago. Also, when you talk about sukuks, what do you think? It's still struggling with one thing. It's still illiquid. And if the liquidity is there, where does it come from? Banks, sovereign wealth funds, the bigger players that have been operating for the longest while. The pivot moment is now, which is, we discussed this briefly over here, tokenization. That is where you bring in liquidity into the market. Tokenization is the flavor that everyone is talking about, real world assets, everything, across the sectors. And Islamic finance needs to certainly basically jump onto it, because we missed the train before as well. We had takaful before, one of the best models for insurance. We missed that train before. We had companies based out of the West, the US, who replicated the takaful model, changed the words, made it really nice looking, and today those companies are billion dollar companies. Similarly, Islamic finance needs to jump onto this and leverage tokenization. That is the trend that I've been seeing. I have personally spoken to many players in this space who have seen the gap in Islamic finance for tokenization.
And that's a trend you see coming across
Absolutely.
MENA.
110%. You can take my word for this. And second is SME. SME financing. If I was to invest, I have in a few fintechs that are focused on SME finance, SME in general. SME, I've said this a couple of times before as well, and I will say it again, that is the next unicorn. Every ecosystem goes through a maturity stage. A maturity stage that starts from retail, then you disrupt the retail banking system, you disrupt the business banking system, you have you disrupt the lending system, and then eventually the larger SME play becomes the main, I would say, driver of the growth of the fintech sectors in different regions you would see. So SME, 110%. If you were to put your money into any fintech, or if you were to basically back anyone, SME is the way to go.
I can see Rashed smiling after hearing this, but Ahmed, coming to you, as far as OGOLD is concerned, what are the features that are being embedded into the wallet and the OGOLD offering over the next, say, 24 months? And where do you see this going? Because I know you're talking about getting income, passive income, tie-ups through your various other fintechs. So how does the customer benefit besides just liquidity on gold?
Okay, actually right now within operating in 9 months, we gain about 500,000 users. Was a big achievement. That's why we start to invest in new features. Right now, the main one we have, it is the buy and sell and redeem physical gold. The client, starts fractionally, but they are at the end, they redeem a physical gold that starts from 1 gram. And now they can also invest the gold and take a returns. The main feature it will be soon, it will be the card, and say it will be 2 weeks, which already issued. It will be issued with Mawarid. That's mean the client have a gold, they can spend it immediately directly. If you have, let's say, 5 grams of gold, you can go to the supermarket, you spend 1 gram. Automatically, this is the idea to make the gold accessible for everyone 24/7. It will be the new feature, but actually we work to build it as a super app that people can save, spend, invest, lend. Also, it will be the next feature that people who already have a gold, they can take a credit backed by gold. This is already our plan for next year, inshallah.
All the best. Raji, you obviously are a core system partner for many banks. So all the requests and their foray into embedded finance will come to you eventually to integrate the system. What are you hearing from the banks in terms of where the journey is going, and how are you adapting to ensure you remain relevant in that space?
Okay, thank you for the question. Actually, with the open banking, actually large penetration, instant payment coming more and more, and the fintech much more evolving, actually offering a high level of UX, UI about services and so on. So banks have realized that they no more can compete with fintech. They need to cooperate with fintech. So the directive, actually, what we are receiving from banks is that every day we need to integrate with a new type of fintech, whether IntoTech, whether digital bank if you wanted, whether regulator, whether compliance. So bank had understood that they need to rely on this fintech to integrate. They will be their source of income, their source of business, and they will offer to be the anchor for this fintech. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you. And lastly, Rashed, if you can give us what is going to be your journey over the next 24 months and what can we expect from Rentify and partnerships with Mawarid and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so how I see the next 24 months going is we're looking to continue with the disruption, to be honest. Anything to do with the household, we're extending the product line towards that. If you're someone who's using the platform, either a tenant or a landlord, you start with just doing the payment now and getting rewarded for it. The next phase of that would be is anything to do with the household when it comes to utility payments, with insurance, with many other products would coming into the pipeline as well.
Super. Look forward to hearing. I'll just leave it open. Anybody in the audience has any queries or questions to any of the panelists, please feel free. No? We are good? Thank you. Thank you very much.